Okay, hello, this is Michaela or Studious Octopus, and I'm here today doing the catch-up for the March 2017 UK GlossyBox. Did this have a particular theme? I don't think it particularly did. Oh no, it was sort of about your beauty foundations. That was the one. This is the beauty foundations sort of set. We had a lot of focus on skincare and a little hair prep, and then there was the one makeup item, but I'll just go through one item at a time and talk about how I've felt about each item now that I've actually had it for about 3-4 weeks, actually gotten to try it out. The allure of shiny new things is worn off just a little bit. So far, first off was the Illusion I Love Eye Cream. That's this here. This was full size and it's a £30 RRP. So far my only feelings is that it's a nice eye cream. The problem I've had, I think, having tried some very cheap eye creams and some quite expensive eye creams, is I'm not sure they do that much more. Not really. I have tried sort of the £3 simple kind of skin eye cream and it's felt really nice. It's not that this doesn't feel nice, it's just I'm not sure it feels so much nicer to warrant £30. It's possible that it's just that I'm not quite yet the target audience for this, because I don't worry too much yet about eye wrinkles. I'm sure I will at some point, so maybe it's more of a case of I'm not the best judge of character. It is really nice. I did really like the directions about only using a rice grain sort of size amount on your eye. I think that was actually really useful to be able to tell how to portion it out, because at least just 15 milliliters. This at least feels like it's going to last for a long time using only that much at a time. But yeah, nice enough. Not sure I'd rebuy it at £30, but I think that's more that it's not something that's my top priority right now for my skin. Next up is the palette, the Sleek Makeup Eye and Cheek palette. I had the variety of a Midsummer's Dream. I'm wearing it now, though I'm not sure how much you can tell, particularly through my glasses. I always find that's kind of the downside maybe to being a glasses wearer. If you spend quite a lot of time on your eye makeup, you can't really tell as much, but I am wearing it. And it all applies really lovely. They're very nice eyeshadows. I think the only thing I would say for me personally, having tried the blushes, is they're a bit too dark for me for blushes personally. I don't think the palettes are particularly one size fits all in that sense. However, while that's a downside in terms of using them as blush, like I said when I first got the palette, those two blush shades are absolutely suitable to also use as eyeshadows. So I think you could just view this as sort of a 6-pan eyeshadow palette with 2 slightly larger pans than the other 4. So that's not actually particularly a downside. And I did try using these a little more, but I do think unless you were traveling, I think you would absolutely just use your regular brushes. I'm not sure why you'd particularly want to suffer using through these 2 little things, so I just use my regular brushes. But yes, it's a nice palette. I like the size of the mirror. I like the little magnetic closing. I'm not sure I mentioned that. It doesn't have an awkward fiddly clasp like some of the cheaper ones, the MUA palettes in particular. While I like how affordable their palettes are, I dislike the little fiddly claspy plastic closey thing. I always worry I'm going to break it, and it isn't really super easy to just open. Whereas these, actually, for the little extra money, you get that sort of nice, slightly nicer packaging while not paying so much more just for the packaging. But yeah, nice enough palette. Next was the This Works In Transit Camera Close-Up, sort of the multi-use mask, moisturiser and primer, and this also was an RRP of £30, though this wasn't the full size. If I remember rightly, this is only half the size of the full size, so this is like £15 worth of value. What I have found, at least, is that a little goes a long way, which is nice with these slightly more expensive ones, that you don't just have to use loads and loads, as well as them being expensive, to actually feel like your face is being moisturised. But yeah, like the eye cream, it's like, it's nice enough, but I'm not sure for me personally that I have the need of it to warrant the cost of it. And the same goes for the Figs and Rouge. This was the Smart Nutrient Day Cream. which was also about £30 full size. And again, this isn't full size, you're getting about half of the full size one. So again, about £15 worth of value. And again, it was super nice, but not something that is perhaps my top concern in terms of I don't need it to be that expensive to actually be good enough for my skin. What I found using them all, because I have been using them all, my skin did have an initial sort of freak out, but I think that was just the you've swapped to completely new products, what are you doing? And my skin went, oh god. But then it recovered and it's now fine. So it's none of these things have anything in them that I would say would break me out, at least. And I do have sort of sensitive skin. The only thing I think for me as well that's a bit of a downside is there's no SPF. For quite a lot of money for already using 3 products in my face, I'd also have to use an SPF as well, which is a lot of stages in my opinion. So I quite like the day cream that I use, which I think is just a Boots one right now. I'm trying out one of the Boots ones and it has an SPF in it as well. So for sort of day-to-day use, for if I'm not doing all of the extra steps, if I don't particularly need something that's also a primer to be able to wear nicely under my makeup, it's nice to have a moisturiser you can just put on that is also an SPF so you don't have to worry about it. And for this much money and this many steps, it would have been nice if there was an SPF element in here as well. So that is a mark against it for me. And then the final thing was this interesting Got To Be Playful styling primer, which I remember saying I wasn't hugely convinced by at first, but actually having used it a bit, I actually really like it. The thing that I would most equate it to, if you've tried it, is the TG Bedhead, one of the TG Bedhead products. And I think it's called Small Talk. It's the one that is the little purple ball with a pump applicator, and it's a similar type of thing where it's not a gel at all. It is like a primer. You put it on and it gives your hair a sort of texture almost as if you'd used dry shampoo. So it makes it more manageable and like the strands sort of are holding together better rather than that sort of weird, particularly if you have very fine hair like I do, that weird feeling where your hair has no grip against itself, where it's really, really slick after just being washed, and it kind of makes it quite unmanageable. So I really like this. It is sort of like pre-using a dry shampoo style effect on your hair, where you're getting sort of the grip and the manageability. Because you can use dry shampoo as a styling product, you don't have to use it just to make your hair look less greasy, and that is how I like to use it. So yeah, I really like this, and I like that it's so affordable because the TG Bedhead products, they're not the most expensive hair products you could get, but it's a bit more than this. But it is actually a very similar type of product if you've ever used it. So I am going to keep using this. I haven't been using this on dry hair. I did find that I think the one time that I used it on dry hair, it just doesn't look good on my hair. I think because it is so fine. The best look I tend to have with hair products is ones that you can apply when your hair's wet and then your hair sort of dries into it and the effect looks a lot better. But actually, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this. I actually really liked it. It was a really good sort of pre-styling treatment thing that made my hair sort of a bit nicer. So that was the March 2017 UK GlossyBox. I think this box has been the most expensive one we've had for quite a while. We haven't had one of those truly sort of upper limit tier box value wise ones in quite a while. A big part of that is these products, where they're quite small products that have quite a large retail value. And like I usually say, obviously really it depends if it feels like it's worth it, because it's all well and good them saying each of these little things is £30, but I suppose it depends how much you would go for that. And then next month we still have our sneak peek for the Modical Brilliant Contour Stick. We should be getting the April box pretty soon. And I'll see you again next time. Bye bye. Hello, this is Michaela of Studious Octopus, and I'm here today recording the March 2017 UK GlossyBox. It just arrived in the post.
Hello, this is Peter.
And this is Michaela.
And this is Final Fantasy 13. We're going to start a new game.